I dedicate today's video to my friend JTB. This one's for you, kiddo. Have you ever noticed someone following you wherever you go in public? Have you noticed the same car following you around wherever you go? They might show up at your workplace, your house, or other place that you frequent regularly. They might take pictures of you without your permission. If this sounds familiar, you might have a stalker. So today I'm going to address the following. What exactly is stalking, and what are some examples? Are stalkers gender specific? Should you feel flattered that someone is stalking you? Now, who stalks and why? What are the steps you can take if you're being stalked? And at the very end, I'm going to include a very special bonus. And this is for the guys. And it may not be what you initially think. So let me get right into it. What exactly is stalking? And what are some examples? Criminal harassment, otherwise known as stalking, can be defined as harassing behavior, including repeatedly following, communicating with, or watching over someone's home, school, work, or other frequent hangout. Now, this sort of behavior is against the law. It is not a sign of love. It is about power and abuse. Example, so other than what I began with, it also includes that they appear to have your daily schedule memorized. They can repeatedly call you, email you, or send you unwanted letters in the mail, especially if you never even gave them this information. They may send unwanted gifts to your workplace, school, or home. This person may flirt with you to an uncomfortable or annoying degree. This is especially true if your stalker is an ex. They habitually check your social media all the time, especially to figure out your location. They may send you creepy or threatening messages if they get upset or angry when you don't text them back. They'll usually ask you or demand you to give them your location. Now, men tend to like attention from women, but women don't always like attention from men. Does that mean only men are stalkers? No. Gender does not determine whether stalking is a crime or how serious it should be taken. Stalking is predatory in nature and can turn violent. Stalking is illegal and harmful regardless of the gender of the stalker. Now, should you feel flattered that someone is stalking you? Why or why not? I say no because it fails to acknowledge the serious harm which can lead to manipulation and or violence. I want you to consider these points. 1, stalking is a clear violation of personal boundaries and privacy. So regardless of the stalker's gender, they are engaging in intrusive and often threatening behaviors such as following the victim, showing up uninvited at their home or workplace, or monitoring their daily activities. Being flattered by such behavior implies a disregard for your own personal boundaries. Another point I want you to consider is that stalkers can escalate their behavior over time, leading to situations that are not only emotionally distressing, but also physically dangerous. Being flattered by a stalker may lead to downplaying the potential for harm, which can put the victim at even greater risk. Also, stalking is a criminal offense in many jurisdictions and is generally viewed as socially unacceptable behavior. Being flattered by a stalker can lead to a failure to report the behavior to authorities, allowing the stalker to continue their actions and potentially harm others as well. So who stalks and why? Well, stalkers have a variety of personalities and characteristics. Some may even have a mental disorder, but most fit into 2 basic categories. One is stalkers obsessed with a stranger, such as a celebrity. They may believe their conduct will eventually win the love of their victim, or they may have delusions that the victim already loves them, but cannot return their affection because of some external influence. Now, in Canada, about 12% of victims of criminal harassment are harassed by a stranger. Stalkers obsessed with someone they know because they're trying to control them, whether they are ex-partners, spouses, acquaintances, co-workers, or even close friends. About 88% of criminal harassment victims fall into this category. So people might say, well, why me? Why am I being harassed? Being harassed or stalked is not your fault. The person may claim to love you, but he or she really wants to control you. You have the right to reject a friendship, separate from a spouse, or break up with a partner. Just because you know the person does not mean that you must put up with their harassing behavior. You are not to blame if someone repeatedly bothers you or follows you around. Remember, what they're doing is not love. It is against the law, and you can take action, which brings me to my next point. Steps you can take if you are being stalked. So if you feel that someone is stalking you or making you feel uncomfortable, trust your gut. It's better to be cautious and take action rather than ignore the signs, because the behavior can escalate. So what do I recommend you do? Keep a detailed record of all interactions, including dates, times, locations, and descriptions of incidents involving the stalker. Despite not wanting to keep anything related to your stalker, I want you to save any type of communication. So texts, emails, voicemails, social media messages, and so on. And take photos or videos if necessary, and make notes about any suspicious behavior or encounters. Also, review your online presence to ensure that your social media profiles and personal information are set to private. Be cautious about sharing personal details, locations, and daily routines on the internet. Also, make sure your home and workplace are secure. Consider installing security systems, changing locks, and ensuring that windows and doors are properly locked. Inform trusted neighbors or co-workers about the situation so they can keep an eye out for you as well. Another pointer is to talk to friends, family, and colleagues about your concerns and provide them with a description of the stalker. You can create and share your safety plan with them so they know how to help and support you. Now, another point is to avoid confronting them, as this can lead to you getting hurt or even killed. When stalkers are confronted, they can become abusive, such as gaslighting, which is the act of shifting blame on you for their actions. So as an example, they might think, how am I supposed to control myself when you're so hot? That's gaslighting. Or they'll completely deny their actions. They may even call you names like delusional or crazy. Their behavior may escalate into making attempts to hurt, kidnap, or even kill you. Please consider reporting the stalking to your local police department. Provide them with the evidence you've gathered and request a restraining order or protective order if necessary. Keep a copy of these reports and any case numbers. So if you feel threatened, consider obtaining that restraining order or protective order against the stalker. This is a legal document that can deter the stalker approaching you and coming onto your property. It also wouldn't hurt to consult with an attorney who specializes in stalking cases to understand your legal rights and options. They can help you navigate the legal process and provide guidance on the best course of action. Now, if the stalking involves online harassment or cyberbullying, report it to the relevant online platforms and consider changing your online identity or taking a break from social media for a period of time. Consider taking self-defense classes to build your confidence and learn how to protect yourself physically if necessary. Carry a personal alarm or self-defense tool if you feel it is appropriate and legal in your area. It's okay to lean on your friends, your family, or a support group for emotional support during this challenging time. You can also consider seeking counseling or therapy to help you cope with the emotional toll of being stalked. Last but not least is my bonus for men, so listen up. Common manipulation tactics female stalkers may use. Female stalkers are notorious for using emotional manipulation, such as guilt tripping to control their victims. They may exploit the victim's feelings of compassion or empathy to gain their trust or forgiveness. Gaslighting, as I mentioned before, involves manipulating someone into doubting their own perception of reality. So female stalkers may gaslight their male victims by denying their actions, twisting the facts, or making the victim feel that they are overreacting or imagining the stalking behavior. Some female stalkers may make false accusations against their victim, such as claiming that they are being abusive or cheating or engaged in illegal activities. these accusations can damage the victim's reputation and personal life. Stalkers often try to isolate their victims from friends and family. So female stalkers may use manipulation to convince the male victim to distance himself from loved ones, making him more dependent on her. Now, a second version is when female stalkers involve the male victim's friends and family members in their harassment, either by manipulating them or convincing them to spy on or provide information about the male victim. A third version is if the female stalker and male victim have mutual friends or acquaintances. The female stalker may try to exploit these connections to gain access to the male or gather information about him. Now, love bombing is a tactic in which the female stalker showers the male victim with affection, compliments, and attention to create a sense of dependency and attachment. Once the male is emotionally invested, the female can then use this to manipulate him further. Now, some female stalkers resort to threats or intimidation tactics to exert their control. Now, this can include threatening to harm themselves, the victim himself, their loved ones, or their property if he tries to break free or even seek help. Female stalkers can use technology to harass their victims, including sending unwanted emails, text messages, or social media messages. They may also create fake profiles to monitor the male victim's online activity or spread false information. I'll conclude this by noting that the tactics that are used by stalkers, regardless of their gender, are harmful and illegal. If you believe you are being stalked, it is essential to take the situation seriously and seek help. Contact law enforcement, document all interactions, and consider seeking a restraining order or protective order. Reach out to a therapist, friends, family, or support organizations for assistance in dealing with this situation to protect your safety and well-being. If you got value out of today's episode, I'd really appreciate it if you like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell so you won't miss any of my future videos of free strategies. I also have another video I want you to watch. It's called The Secret to True Power. If you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, please comment below. Until next time, I'm the Iron Therapist Leslie Timbo, reminding you to keep your mental game on.